Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is an empties, and you know how this goes. This is all of the beauty products that I've used up in the last 2 months. We're gonna start this off with something that is very seasonally appropriate, and that is the Incredible Pumpkin Peel by Marcelle. Now, this is a mask that you don't use for very long on your face. It's like 3 to 5 minutes and then you take it off. This is intended to exfoliate your skin for a smoother complexion, and I have to tell you, I really like this stuff because I actually feel it working. One of my biggest gripes with skincare is that you can't really tell if something is doing something unless you can feel something on your face. You feel this one and it's a little bit stingy, but I don't mind that. I like to know that it's doing something. I hadn't been using this throughout the summer just because I kind of forgot about it, and I busted it back out throughout September because it says pumpkin on it, and that's when I want all of the pumpkin stuff. And sure enough, this does smell like pumpkins. Like, it's like true to scent. It is a pumpkin smell. So I really enjoyed this specifically because I felt like it was working, and my skin did appear and feel smoother afterwards. So that's very rare that I can actually say that about a skincare product, because most of them don't react right away with my skin, and this was one of them. I do recommend this one. Next product is an Aveeno Positively Radiant Toner. This is the one that I go back to all the time. I do use other toners if they've been sent to me by PR, just so I can use them, try something new, but the one that I always go back out and repurchase is the one by Aveeno. So I think I've been through quite a few of these lately. I am using another one right now because I was sent one by a brand, but whenever I run out of that one, if I don't love it more than the Aveeno one, I will definitely be repurchasing Aveeno again. I've also finished up a Marcel solution, and this is by Bioderma. This is their Hydro Bio H2O one. I do prefer the one with the pink cap. That's just the regular solution for getting all of my like extra gunk off my face. This one does work. I think it's almost the same. I just prefer the pink cap one for whatever reason, but I like the smell on this one better. This one is more in my scent preference because the other one actually doesn't smell like anything at all. But I think it just doesn't work quite as well as the one with the pink cap. But I love Bioderma and I will always repurchase these. I am using another brand right now because I think it's close to the expiration date, so I was like, well, I better use another brand before I go back to my Bioderma ones. But this is the brand that I always go back to. I know they're more expensive than other brands, but I feel, I don't know, some sort of brand loyalty to Bioderma. I don't really know why that's a thing. They were the first brand to come out with it, and maybe that's why I feel attached to it, but I always go back to Bioderma. Oh, by the way, a lot of people use this as their only makeup remover. I don't know how they do that, because this is good for cleaning up all the excess residue on my face after I've washed my face and remove my makeup with an actual like oil-based remover. I can't use this solely on my face to get off all the makeup. It will not remove waterproof stuff. It definitely won't remove the Maybelline matte inks. This does like nothing to them. So I don't use this as my primary makeup remover. I use this as like a cleanup after the fact and to remove fallout from my eyeshadow before I put my foundation on. I'll just sweep it under my eyes to clean anything up because it's so gentle and it's so soft on the skin that I don't have to be worried about it like over moisturizing or anything like that. But I would never use this as like my only makeup remover. There's a body wash in here by Mary Kay. This is their Satin Body Indulgent Shea Wash. I think I really like this one. Yeah, because it's the white tea and citrus scent. That scent is incredible. Oh, it's so good. I gave the lotion, I think, to my mom because she also really likes the smell of this, but I was like, there's no way you're getting my body wash. So I finished this up. I really enjoyed it. It was a great scent throughout the summer. I do not need to repurchase body wash at this point because I have like 8 bottles of various other brands sitting in my closet, but this is a fantastic one. Makeup removing wipes in here, no shocker. This is the Neutrogena Hydrating Makeup Removing Wipes. Talk about these every single time, so I'll just say they're the best and end it there. I have a body moisturizer here, and I am so excited to be done this thing because I've had it, oh, my hair is attached to it. I've had it for 2 years maybe, and this is part of the Body Shop's holiday collection. So it's their Frosted Cranberry Shimmer Lotion. I can't tell you how much I love their shimmer lotions. Now the cranberry scent is nice, but I got super tired of using it. Well, yeah, after a while. It's very potent. It's very berry scented, and I'm not huge on berry scented things, but the texture of this combined with the shimmer that they put in it is glorious. I'm gonna have to see what scents they're gonna put out at the Body Shop this year for shimmer lotions because I love using this stuff. It does tend to look a little bit better around the Christmas season because you can just put it all over your body. You get like a hint of sparkle and shimmer. I really like it. It's a simple way to have scent on your skin because the scent does linger for a while and just a little bit of extra glimmer. And I like glitter basically everywhere. So putting this on my skin gave this beautiful sheen to it that I thought was just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. So I'll see what they have this year, but I don't think I'd get the cranberry one again just because I got super tired of the scent towards the end of the bottle. I have a nail polish remover in here. This is by QUO. This is their regular one. I have since switched to the nourishing one, but I think I might actually prefer this one more. I do have 2 bottles of the nourishing in my cupboard right now, so I have to get through that before I'll go back to the regular one. But this is pretty much the only nail polish brand that I buy. It's one of the most accessible to get in Canada at Shoppers Drug Mart, and it's pretty cheap. I usually actually never only buy it on sale, so it might be $4 regularly, but I think I only buy it when it's like $2.50. Okay, this one's kind of annoying, and there's goop from something in there. Ugh. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Luscious Full Fan Effect Mascara. And I love the formula to pieces. I love the brush to pieces. I've probably gone through like 6 tubes at this point since they've released it. But this one broke on me. There's no wand because the wand is on the inside of this. I was able to repair it once, like I reattached it, but then it got stuck in the bottom one time and I'm like, well, that's game over because I'm not hunting through that. So yeah, I think this must have been like a random fluke because I've owned so many tubes of this and never had that problem, but I was so sad because it was a brand new tube. I think I'd only used it for like 3 or 4 weeks and then it was just like, no, it's done. I have a face mask in here and I think this is what's goobering on everything in the bag. This is Mary Kay's Time Wise Repair Lifting Biocellulose Mask. So this face mask was fairly unique in the sense that it is the only face mask that has ever fit on my face properly. Generally you put face masks on and they're slimy and they're cold and they're not like sticking to your face properly and they're dripping everywhere and it's just a miserable experience. I really do not enjoy face masks as a whole, but this one stuck to my face, smoothed into place, and stayed there. And I was like, whoa, what is this experience? This has never happened to me before. I like the smell of it. I didn't particularly notice if it did anything to my skin right off the bat other than moisturize it, which I feel like it did do. And I've got about 4 more of these, I think, that I will absolutely run through because it's actually pleasant to use this one. Now don't get me wrong, it's still cold, it's still slimy, but it actually fit my face and that was really, really nice. And I've never experienced that before, so I did really like this one and I will use the other ones that I have as well. So I have a nail polish in here and it's not quite done, but it is completely solid at this point, so I have to throw it out, so I thought I would mention it. I have gone through half of the polish. I can see right through because it's now like coagulated at the bottom. And this is the QUO by Orly nail polish and the shade is Sundaze. This color is so much fun. It looks like highlighter yellow on your nails. I think it was a limited edition polish 2 years ago, so you probably can't get it anymore. But it was so cool to wear on the nails. The only problem was that because it's such a fluorescent color, you need to use 4 coats. So I kept glopping it on and glopping it on, and basically you still end up with some streaks and some translucency on your nails, but it was so much fun to wear this color. I would love to actually own a color like this by any brand, it doesn't have to be QUO, that actually didn't have so much translucency because the color is so much fun to wear. But sadly this one is like done because it's a solid mass at the bottom, so having to throw this one out now. So I have a super exciting product here. It's a Bite lip mask. This is the Agave lip mask in the scent Maple, which makes me so happy because I love anything maple scented. And I finished it up. This tube took forever to finish. I bought it about 2 years ago and it's taken me that long to finish it up. Granted, I haven't necessarily used it every single day in those 2 years, but I had been using it every single night for the last 8 months and I finally finished it. There's so much product in here. There's 15 grams, which is, you know, not a ton, it doesn't sound like, but in practice, you don't need a ton of lip mask on your lips, and it just goes forever. It goes forever. So I really like this, not only for the scent, but I also really like the product. It's thick, it's luxurious. I put it on before bed every single night, and I have a bunch more lip masks that I'm gonna be getting through as well. But the maple one is definitely my favorite. All of the scents basically work the same. They're all thick, they're luxurious, they heal your lips if you need that, and make them more soft and emollient and moisturized, like all the good stuff to your lips. And in case anybody's confused about the term lip mask, it's basically just a thick balm. It's not a mask that you would put on and then take off. It's just a super thick lip balm. I have a face wash in here. This is the Live Clean Fresh Face Foaming Daily Cleanser. Now I really like Live Clean as a brand, and this does work really, really well. It cleans my face, which is all I basically need a face cleanser to do. So it performs its function just fine. The only thing that doesn't really excite me about this product is the fact that it doesn't have any kind of a scent, really. I mean, there's kind of a scent, it just smells like clean, but it's not something that's super enticing to me. And I've mentioned before that I really like my skincare has a scent because it makes it more pleasurable for me to use. So this one is fine, it performs its job, but it doesn't have a smell that makes me excited. I have a moisturizer in here. This is the Aveeno Clear Complexion Daily Moisturizer. I love this stuff to pieces. I've been using it since I was 19 years old, and I will always go back to Aveeno. There's a lot of brands that I really like and I will cycle through them, but Aveeno is one that I always go back to. It's just one of those products that does the job. It does it simply. It smells really nice too. I'm super into the Aveeno scent. It just, yeah, it reminds me of being 19 and going off to university. Don't really know why that memory is stuck to this moisturizer, but it is. So yeah, I really like it. This one does have salicylic acid in it, which is not necessarily something I need. I don't really get acne, but maybe it's preventative. Anyway, always love Aveeno products. I have a nail polish top coat in here. This is the only one I will use. This is the Sèche Vive Instant Gel Effect Top Coat. I've said this before, but I really don't know what I was doing with my life on my nails before I started using quick dry top coats, because I used to just sit there and get ridges on my nails or like compression marks from like putting your hand under your pillow, and I had no idea that I could have a better life if I just used a quick dry top coat. Now this was the first one I used and I loved it so much that I've never gone and discovered any other brands because I don't see the point. It keeps my nail polish in check. It makes sure that it lasts an entire week, which is fantastic because I don't really like changing my polish like every 2 to 3 days. It's too excessive for me. So this stuff is the best. I've got 2 more bottles sitting in my nail polish drawer. I will never, ever stray from this. Oh, this is sad. This is an Empties only because it's dried out. This is the Stila Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Rose Gold Retro. This pains me because these are $31 Canadian, and I've used it a handful of times. I really like the Stila glitters, but this thing is solid on the inside now. I have no idea what happened. I store them all the same, and all my other ones are perfectly liquid and glittery and all that. But this one has turned into a chunky monkey. I can't get any product out. It like, oh, a little bit. It kind of like smears, it goes on in chunks. I added a bunch of Inglot Duraline to it, like a lot of Duraline, because it was just eating up the, whatever that thing is made out of, in the hopes that it would resuscitate it. But it basically just kept like drinking down the Duraline and doing nothing. So it got a little bit more liquid at one point, but then it just like, you know, stopped and it got chunky again. So I don't know what happened. I don't see any holes in the tube. It's not even my oldest color, so I have no clue why this one has dried up, but I'm so sad because I love these things. They're expensive and I didn't actually finish it. So yeah, Rose Gold Retro in the garbage. Another face mask here. This is the Nippon Fab Skin Glycolic Instant Fix Mask. This is another one that I actually felt was doing something on my face. Again, it's so rare to actually feel like a face mask is doing something unless it's kind of like tingling on your face, but this one does tingle. This one is intended to exfoliate your complexion, so I didn't use it that often, probably like twice a month, but I put on a thick layer, let it sit for, yeah, 10 minutes, and then wipe it off, and I did feel like my skin was a little bit smoother afterwards, so I did enjoy this one. I have a pair of lashes in here. These are the Ardell Faux Mink lashes, and I don't actually think these one have a particular name because it's not listed anywhere. These ones were really nice right off the bat. They went on nicely, they were easy, they conformed to my eye shape, but I feel like they fell apart really quickly, and I'm not really sure why. I didn't really treat this any differently than my other lashes, but I feel like I only got like 4 uses out of these before they just got like too gummed up, and I do clean my lashes off after I'm done with them. But the band got super gummed up and it just wasn't sticking to my lid anymore, so I didn't have the patience to just keep trying. So they were okay, but they're not something that I would purchase just because I didn't get enough use out of them. I used up a sample size of the Urban Decay Sin Eyeshadow Primer Potion. It's been so long since I've used Urban Decay's Primer Potion. That was life-changing for me 10 years ago maybe, when I realized that eye primer could keep my eyeshadow from creasing. I used Urban Decay for like years and years and years, and then eventually over time my eyes got used to it and they started creasing with the primer regardless. So I've since discovered that I just use 2 primers now and it'll keep my eyeshadow in place. So I haven't really gone back to Urban Decay's Primer Potion until I got the sample card. This was fine, but I could not use it on its own anymore. I had to double it up with something else. And I forgot how pretty Sin was as a color. It's kind of weird to use it as an eyeshadow primer because it's so pigmented and so shimmery. It looks like a champagne color that it feels weird to put extra eyeshadow on top of it, especially when it's like a totally different color, like a blue. But I mean, it was functional in conjunction with another eye primer, but yeah, I can't use one anymore, so I use 2, and I tend to prefer cheaper brands just because I don't have to spend as much money on an eyeshadow primer. And by the way, the fact that I use 2 eyeshadow primers, you might point out that maybe if I use more expensive products, I would only have to use 1. That's not the case. I've used all of the expensive ones by themselves and they won't work for me alone. So now I prefer just to stick to the cheaper ones and use 2 together. I have a face wash here by Jack Black. This is their Deep Dive Glycolic Facial Cleanser with kaolin clay and volcanic ash. I don't remember liking this. Yeah, don't like the smell. It's kind of like clay, which makes sense, there is clay in it, but it was not especially pleasurable to use on my face as a face wash in the morning, so I used up the small tube that I got from Sephora, probably one of their sample size, choose your own adventure kind of thing, but didn't love it. Finished up a foundation here. This is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. This particular shade is 52 Vanilla. I've been through so many of these tubes over the years. I love this so much. It is not a very long wearing foundation. I need to point that out because I feel like a lot of people get this and then think that it's gonna last the entire workday. It does look very, very good for probably about 4 to 5 hours, but it does start to break down after a while. It's a thin formula, it's comfortable on the skin, but it doesn't have like the longevity that some foundations have. So if you're going into this thinking that you're gonna look flawless the entire day, not really the case. I don't always need a bulletproof foundation, so when I go for this one, it's because I want something sheer, I want light coverage, I want it to feel comfortable, but just look a little bit like my skin is perfected. So this one I've gone back to time and time again because it's fantastic. It just gives me all of what I've just said. And it smells so good. This one oddly does smell kind of like berries, which is not something I tend to like, but for whatever reason, the scent of this one is really nice. I've scraped the sides, I've gotten as much of this out as I can, but it's done, I'm afraid. And I will eventually pick it up again. I've just got some foundation that I'm trying to get through. I want to get through as many bottles of foundation this year as I possibly can, and I think this is like tube 3 or 4 of different brands that I've finished this year. Just because I've got some older ones I want to get through, but I will go back to this one. I have a makeup remover in here. This is the Marcel Gentle Makeup Remover for Sensitive Eyes. This is the biphase one. It has some oil in it and whatever else the solution is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's the best one on the market. I'm so sorry if you're not in Canada because I don't think you can buy this outside of Canada, but it's the best I have ever used. It beats every other high-end brand out there. I've tried MAC, I've tried Estee Lauder, Lancome. This is the best, and I'm so glad that they continue to make it because I'm always worried when I find like the perfect product that eventually they're just gonna cycle it out. But I've been using this probably close to 20 years-ish, and it's the best. I have a Boots No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Serum here. This is really nice, but I want to stipulate that I don't notice a ton of difference when I use serums. So I'll wash my face, apply toner, apply serum, and then apply moisturizer. A serum will only ever alert me that something is wrong if my moisturizer balls up on my face. So that didn't happen with this, which makes me really happy because it was nice to use. I really liked the smell of it, and it seemed to work with different moisturizers that I had on hand. So I did really enjoy it, and I feel like it didn't, you know, cause anything detrimental to the rest of my skincare regime. I have another polish here. It's not done, but I must have done some kind of polish clean out of shades that I either wasn't using or I found too chunky or something like that. This is the Orly lacquer in the shade Mayhem Mentality. Super fun color, another neon. Really liked to wear it, but it was chunky and difficult to apply, and it's probably because the shade is a little bit old at this point. So I've used up half. It's been shaken up at this point, so you can't really tell, but it's time to let go of it, so I'm just gonna trash it. So this looks like nothing, but it's an eyeshadow. I finished up an eyeshadow. This is MAC's All That Glitters. Not that you can tell because it's totally empty at this point. And it's done. It's shocking to me to use up an eyeshadow because it takes forever, even with daily use. And I must have hit a lot of pan on this a long time ago and then just sort of used it up slowly over the last few years because I keep a quad of MAC shadows on my desk for easy access just to make sure I'm like using them regularly. And this one did not have much left by the time I put it into that quad. I was subbing this in a lot when I was using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I was using this shade instead of Luscious because they're very similar. I do prefer Luscious more. It's slightly brighter than All That Glitters. But yeah, I finished up an eyeshadow and I am so happy about that. I have a brow pencil in here. This is NYX's Micro Brow in the shade Taupe. I love the micro brows. I buy them in bulk whenever I go to IMATS. I bought 10 last year. And I've got quite a few left over, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to replenish this year. But I don't like being without these because this is like the perfect color for my brows on a day-to-day basis. When I'm filming, I tend to use a pomade, but for going to work, I always reach for the NYX Micro Brow. And it's just really simple to use. I really like it. It's inexpensive. It's a really good pencil, and I will always pretty much have backups of these. I think I've got like 4 or 5 still sitting on my shelf. But when I run out of those, I will be buying them in bulk again. I have a liquid liner here. This is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster. I get the shade Ultra Black. They do have a black, and they've got an Ultra Black. I never really know why that's a thing. Black is black. It is the darkest color out there. Why do you have different colors of black? Shouldn't one just be called like charcoal? Anyway, this is Blackest Black, and I finished this up relatively recently, but I was surprised at how quickly I finished it. I know I looked into this at one point, but I think I finished this within like, it was either 4 months or 6 months, and I was like, whoa, how are you done already? So I was shocked at how quickly I finished that, and I ended up going and buying the Art Deco pencil, which I have now learned that I don't love nearly as much as this one. This one is fluid, it's easy to use. I love the brush tip. There's nothing better than a brush tip for a liner for me. So I really enjoyed the eye booster, and I will absolutely only repurchase this one from now on. I'm sorry that I strayed away to buy the Art Deco one, but it had been a while and I just felt like, you know, go back, you remember liking it, but I made a mistake. I made a mistake, and I will only be buying the Physicians Formula one from now on. And lastly, I have a cuticle oil here. This is the Burts Bees Lemon Butter Cuticle Cream. I finished this actually quite a while ago now, and it felt like a mission. I am not somebody who really does much to my nails aside from like paint them and file them down. I don't know, I don't really jam cuticle butter into them very often or use oils or anything like that. So I had to put this on my bedside table to make sure that I was using it, or at least trying to remember to use it. And that sort of worked, but it's taken me like 2.5 years to get through this. It was a gift, I think. But I wouldn't necessarily purchase it myself because I didn't really notice a difference. I was like rubbing it into my cuticles because I've got some like really like hard cuticles, and I don't think it actually softened them. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of people swear by this, but for me, I didn't notice a difference. Okay, that's it. Yep, we're done. That is it for my empties. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.